You're listening to Scheduling Sin with me, Snowmill. As someone who totally wants to have the train run on her, I think the limit is definitely well below 583 men. I don't want you in the bathroom at Chili's with your leg up on the wall trying to shave stuff, right? Like, that's not what we're saying.
Well, hello, Mrs. Snow.
Oh, hello, Mr. Snow.
How are you?
Not as good as you on your couple bevies over there.
So I will admit, right now, as we stand, it is 9. This is how lame we are.
Yeah, we're
honestly.
super fucking lame.
There's
no... And this is a difference, and you'll notice that he's giggling right now because
Shut up.
He's a little more soft.
Shut up. It is 9:30 on a Saturday night.
Ooh, I forgot it's Saturday night. Okay.
The kids are asleep.
Yeah.
I've had some Maker's Mark.
Some bevies.
A certain amount of Maker's Mark.
That shall remain.
That shall
remain.
Only because I don't know what it is.
Oh, well, that's helpful.
But some. And we decided now's a perfect time.
Yeah.
We should talk.
Well, it's funny. This is what always happens. We end up just kind of randomly talking. We just happened to be by our mics.
Yeah.
And we were kind of perusing different articles, and one that came up that just I feel like is a big, huge topic that everyone's talking about right now.
We've got two.
Couple things I was like, you know what, fuck it. Let's just turn on the mics and let's just do this.
All right. I keep hearing about this chick, this OnlyFans chick that fucked was it 586 guys or something
583 men in 6 hours. OnlyFans creator Annie Knight set out to break records, but apparently it has come at a cost. Yeah, her fucking snatch is just fucking wrecked. I don't listen. As someone who totally wants to have the train run on her, I think the limit is definitely well below 583 men.
I mean,
and I'm talking 4.
4.
3, 4. We don't need
a lot.
And she's posting on
a lot less.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Here's the
she's
thing.
taking to her Instagram account. Oh my gosh, I didn't know it was going to be like this. I'm really hurt and I'm bleeding. What the fuck did you think was going to happen?
Oh my gosh, I know. This is the worst. This is the fucking worst. It's such an attention grab. And it's such a horrible attention grab. First, for so many reasons. And one of the reasons I think that makes me weirdly the most angry is out of 580 whatever fucking dudes. In how long was it?
It's 583 men in 6 hours.
In 6 hours.
So when you do the math, every man had 30 seconds to a minute.
Right. So 30 seconds to a minute. So
all right. So here's the question. How many strokes can you do in 30 seconds?
Not enough. Okay. That's what I'm fucking getting at. You did 586 dudes or whatever.
83.
Not a single person came. I don't know. Maybe a couple. There's a couple of quick shooters out there, but nobody enjoyed this.
That's the part that you're the most upset about. That all of these people were naked and fucking this woman and nobody came. I mean, I get it. I understand that is definitely.
That's a big part of my problem with it. Yeah,
it's really I think
just the utter pointlessness is the big.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is kind of getting lumped into all the lifestyle stuff. It really makes me.
It's offensive.
It's mad because that's not what all this is about. But. Oh my gosh!
This is my favorite. This is my favorite part. So she took to her Instagram part, and this quote, I can't even. I read this, and I just fucking lost my goddamn mind. Being hospitalized after taking 583 men in a day was not on my 2025 bingo card. Well, Jesus fucking Christ! I can't set up a fucking gangbang with 3 guys to save my life with scheduling and all the things, hard. Right? On your 2025 bingo card, bitch, you set this up.
That's actually an exceptionally good point. So
clearly, are we just not as popular? Maybe I need an OnlyFans account.
Well, we've been talking about that for years, but here's the thing. I hadn't even thought about it from that angle, but now it almost makes me more mad, right? So we have been trying to organize a gangbang for years.
But also, a gangbang is not this.
No.
This is not my fantasy.
No.
This is nothing about this.
Okay,
is hot, sexy. Nothing about that is a turn on. Nothing.
Yeah. No, I get
because
it.
Because in my mind, like, if I'm going to engage with multiple men,
right,
I want to enjoy multiple men.
Well, and you want them to enjoy it.
Well, right. That's not 30 seconds. Just bam, 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 go, go, go. Like, that's not what that is.
Like, from a practicality standpoint, how does this work? Like,
the session was broken into hour-long slots with 15-minute breaks.
Okay.
She noted she was more concerned about timing and content capture rather than doing the deed. I mean, well,
duh.
Obviously.
I wonder how this was advertised. And then when it was, do you get like an iCal, like a notification, like you know when they go to the doctor and they text you like 49 times about whether or not you're coming to your appointment?
I think everyone got buzzers.
Oh, you
like
think
at a
so?
restaurant?
It was like Outback. Like when you,
when you go, I guess I don't know if it was just her vagina.
Like
maybe it was
thing.
also her ass.
Maybe they were sitting out there with the little buzzers, and when it went off, it was go time.
Jesus. Do you think? Oh my God. Yeah. I did it because I wanted to do it. I have no regrets. And then like there was some.
Oh, that's a lie. You have regrets.
There was also like something about her
sorry
fiance texting her saying, "I love you. I'm so proud of you. Be safe." I'm like, what the
be
fuck?
safe?
Like, this is like
she's about to fuck
like
583
be
dudes.
safe. Like, yeah, make sure you cover their faces as well as their dicks. Like, it's so weird.
God.
Like, I don't know. It's crazy. So she paid for the entire event herself, venue, condoms, security, and filmmakers, spending $10,000. But she's confident the investment will pay off. I'll make that money back tenfold, hopefully more. I mean, I guess this is no different than any.
I wish I knew.
Any OnlyFans person, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I would, but here's the thing. So, like, as awful as this thing was, I mean, I know I've heard about it a lot in social media.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It has come up a lot. So I gotta think that, like, just from shock value alone, her OnlyFans has got to be fucking blowing up.
Oh, yeah.
And like, think about the video of that. Like, right. So there's some video out there probably of 500 and however many dudes banging this chick in 30-second intervals. How do you even jerk off to that?
How do I fap to that?
I don't think I could fap to that. Like, I think it's too much change. I get
There's
pissed
so
off.
many things wrong with this. I can't come. Nobody came.
I
can't get off to this.
Nobody really enjoyed it.
It looks like a fucking prison.
It looks like a prison.
No, you're not paying for this.
I don't think I could jerk off to this.
Well,
it pisses me off when I
love how you have all this anger.
Oh, it does. It makes me mad. This whatever. It pisses me off when I'm jerking off to something and I like it, and then they just change it up. Like, that just really makes me mad. And in 30-second intervals, I could never get into that. This is a total fail.
It's a total fail.
So
yeah, there's our 2 cents on that. But I just I just want to go to her and be like, who hurt you?
Who hurt you?
Like, this
you
is
know
not,
it was your dad.
Like, listen.
100%.
Like, I mean, yeah, I mean,
okay.
There's not a good story behind it.
I have an article that I want to bring to the table. And
yes,
the headline of my article is New York is ranked among the top 5 states for swingers.
Yeah.
How to tell if someone is a swinger. And we're going to get through some, like, a lot of this stuff is kind of like for the uninitiated, right? I thought this was kind of interesting, though. How common is the swing lifestyle in New York? The study found that New York's monthly search volume was 590 per 100,000 people, landing the state at number 2 in the country for those searching for swinger. I suppose it's on Google.
Well, so this is
like
saying
looking up swinger terms on Google.
Volume of people searching for swinger terms
on Google. Like, like they're looking up.
Yeah, but just because I search for a swinger term doesn't mean I'm a swinger.
Not necessarily.
Like, I don't know.
Is that a valid way to look it up? I don't know.
Interesting.
But it went on to myths and misconceptions.
This was really interesting. And I find like myths.
And I want to go through some of these like myths and misconceptions.
Yeah.
So the first one was swingers are only focused on sex.
Clearly. I want to fuck 583 men.
583 men. Like
Christ.
Literally every man I ever meet.
Yeah. Swingers only focus on sex. It's so funny because I think I would have said that. Well, I would have absolutely believed that before I got into this. 100%. Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say. So I think that the uninitiated and newbies probably think this is true.
Well, I think because you don't know, you've never been in it.
Right.
And all that you do know about it is the sex. So why, I mean, of course that
Well, the
makes
sex
sense.
is what brought you here.
Well, sure.
Right. And that's really, frankly, what brought everybody here, I think. But this idea that swingers are only focused on sex, as we've talked about on this podcast, the further we have gone in this, frankly, the less we're focused on sex.
Right.
The more we're focused on the crazy, fun, ridiculous people we've gotten to know.
Yeah.
And it is a wild cast of characters that we know. Like, the people that I know in the lifestyle are some of the funniest, craziest group of people that I know anywhere.
Yeah.
And I just look forward to seeing them every month at socials and parties and stuff like that. I mean, the sex just kind of, at a certain point in the lifestyle, it is. At a certain point in the lifestyle, the sex just happens.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of a byproduct of getting a bunch of swingers together. Eventually, they're going to fuck each other.
I'm also finding out and realizing that a lot of swingers are fucking nerds.
Oh, total nerds.
Total fucking nerds.
Big
and it's
gamers.
awesome.
Big gamers.
Big gamers. They're into like just kind of the weird kind of just.
But you know what's fun about that?
Cosplay and you know, like all that stuff.
What's fun about that is learning all of the hidden talents of all these people.
Right.
Like, we have on our little podcasting desk right here, we've got some 3D printed stuff that one of our friends made. And so he's like into like 3D.
It's like a little dick person.
Yeah, it's like a little
and a little
dick
badge
monster
person.
thing.
Yeah.
And like, he's into 3D printing, and like, we've got other people that are into like, you know, graphic arts, and we've got people that are in all kinds of things. And it's cool to see all these different talents come in.
Yeah.
And especially in a group like ours, because you see all these people who are coming to the group with like things that they can offer.
Yeah.
Right. And we've got one gal in our group who is starting to make light up bras.
I know, she's so excited.
She told you she wanted to make one for you, and the language was, your boobs are going to be boobin'.
Boobin'. That's right. They're going to be boobin'. I'm pretty excited about boobin' boobs.
So let's go to the next myth. It's easy to dive into the lifestyle.
I mean, if we haven't figured this out yet in this podcast,
it ain't easy.
It ain't easy.
It ain't easy.
It's not easy on so many levels. Like, just logistically, like actually getting out and meeting people, I think is like such a tiny part of it.
There are easier ways to do it.
Yeah, but I think like doing it well and doing it like in the best possible way for you and your partner.
You know, the thing
in your relationship
that newbies, and we didn't know this, nobody knows this as they come in unless they catch it from somewhere else, is,
and it's not an STD.
Thank God. It's sexually transmitted information. No, it's the fact that if you can manage to get into the lifestyle, like with a group of friends, or with even just a group in general, you'll have a way better experience.
Well, because I think people like going out with friends and hanging out and, you know, enjoying each other's company, but to do it in a sexy way is just nice. But there's less pressure when you have a lot of people.
Oh God. And find the social part first.
Yeah. And I remember the first time we went to a club, we didn't know anybody. Like, we knew nobody. And it was incredibly hard to just walk in there and try to engage with people.
It was intimidating.
It was very intimidating.
Yeah.
And it just, because again, as a newbie, it's like, oh, this is about sex. If I go talk to someone, they're going to want to fuck me. Like, that was like what you thought. And so you're always terrified to go up to people.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The next one is swinging will fix a broken relationship.
Man, that could not be further from the truth.
100% will not.
And I think we've said this before, and we'll say it again. Swinging and engaging in this will find any insecurity in your relationship.
Yep.
And shine a light right on it and make it just a big deal.
Now, one thing I will say to this. So 100% agree with you. If you're unhappy in your marriage, if you're in like a sexless marriage or one thing and another, opening it up to other people, kiss of death. Like, that's a terrible, terrible plan.
I'm not saying you can't do it. I think there are people that are in sexless marriages that may be able to do it, but it just looks very different.
Yeah, it's hard to get that to work right. But what I will say is I agree with this idea that swinging will not fix a broken relationship. But, and now go with me on this one, swinging will enhance a boring relationship.
Yeah.
And what I mean by boring is not necessarily that, like, you dislike your partner, but rather, you're in a groove, you're in a rut, you're in parent mode. Sex is like something you do for 15 minutes once a week, and you don't think, if you're looking for more in your sex life, this is a good fix for that.
I think we have a lot of our friends that have been married for 10, 15, 20 years, and then they kind of discovered this as kind of like in their 20-year marriage.
As an addition to their life.
Right. And I think those tend to probably, if you have a 20-year marriage, that's ideally, hopefully a pretty solid marriage.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's very much that thought of kind of adding to it versus trying to fill a void.
100%. And we've met couples who they've been married for 15 or 20 years. They get into the lifestyle in whatever capacity they get into it.
Yeah.
And they say, we are having, like the couple, we are having sex like we did when we were 25.
Yeah. Well, you and I have been like that.
Yeah.
Jesus, like we fucked like bunnies before.
Fucked like bunnies.
Before we had children and early in our relationship, we used to have sex Saturdays. Do you remember sex Saturdays?
I do. We would wake up in the morning.
Wake up and just
fuck. No, it's true though. We would wake up in the morning and we would fuck. And then like eventually we would go get brunch.
Yeah, we'd go get pancakes.
And then we would come back.
Well, we'd go to the sex store and get
that happened later. No, that happened later. So we would come back and we'd fuck some more. And then like mid-afternoon, we would say, hey, we should go get some food and go to the sex toy store and get lube or butt plugs. A new
toy or whatever.
Fuck, we were going to get that day. And then we would do that. Like we would go get lunch and we'd go to the sex toy store, but then we were kind of done after that.
And then we go get ice cream.
We're
clearly like fat kids that like to fuck.
And then go to a movie or something. Oh God, sex Saturdays. Fucking
sex Saturdays.
But so another part of this article that I thought was interesting, and I'm interested for anybody that might be in these states. I want your opinion. So it ranks in 1 to 15 based, I guess, on Google searches, the number, like the in order states for swinging. And the number 1 state, Pennsylvania.
That's surprising. I would think New York, California. California's not in the top 15.
Which
is surprising. Is that because like they're
not even on the list?
They're not on the list. They're not in the top 15. Isn't that crazy?
No, you would think they'd be more fun than that.
Yeah. It is interesting that it's very much like New England. It's kind of the jam. Like all the fucking New England states are on there.
Most of it's the eastern half of the U.S. So you got Pennsylvania, you got New York, Delaware, Michigan, New Jersey, Virginia. Now we're on number 7, North Carolina, South Carolina, Nevada. I'm surprised that's not higher up, to be honest. You would think that would be higher. They're kind of freaky. Ohio, Maryland, Florida. I would have thought Florida would be way higher up.
Yeah, I could. Yeah. Yep. Well, because it's fucking old people.
And those retirement homes down there, they're just fucking everybody in there.
They fucking everybody up there.
They are. It's a problem.
Do you go to nursing homes or assisted living facilities in Florida?
No, I don't personally, but I've heard rumors.
Oh. And we need to talk to our friend that has a granny fetish.
Oh, that's true. You probably go crazy down there. And then Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Tennessee.
Yeah, so you're right. It's like the entire eastern.
It's like the eastern half of the U.S. except for Nevada.
Nevada's the only one that's out west.
Okay, now here's the last part of this that I thought was kind of interesting. How do you tell if someone is a swinger? Honestly,
it's so funny.
This was sort of an eye roller for me. Pink flamingo, a garden gnome, or a pampas grass in the front lawn. Now I've heard of
a pampas grass.
I don't know. I've heard. I guess I'm a shitty swinger because I don't know.
I don't have a garden gnome or a pink flamingo either.
The garden gnome I have heard about. I've heard about having a garden gnome in your front lawn.
There are a lot of different kinds of garden gnomes.
Well, that's true.
Like there are some that are like. There's like a lot of different kinds and a lot of different there are different poses.
I don't know. I got to look at this and find out which kind of garden gnome.
I think this is like.
Do you think there's different garden gnomes for what you're into?
Do you think like the ones that have like their pants down are like cucks?
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Like, do you think there's like a hot wife garden gnome?
Yeah, 100%.
Is it like? Do you get like 2 garden gnomes, like a man and a woman, and then like other garden gnome, like a dude that's like 10 feet away and like lurking. Is that
a lurking garden gnome? I mean, aren't all fucking garden gnomes lurking in sometimes?
Well,
like
they kind of are. But like, I'm getting at, like, are you supposed to like tell the story in
this is not a fucking like
you stick them next to the hostas?
Okay.
Is that what you're supposed to do?
No, it's not what you're supposed to do.
And then here's the other thing too. It's like, I don't necessarily want to swing with people in my neighborhood.
No.
So I don't necessarily want to advertise it in my front yard.
Well, I think there are probably swinger communities, right? Or there are places like that.
Well, yeah, okay, that's different. But like, how does this work? Like, okay, so let's game this out. So I put my man and my woman garden gnome in my front, like right up there.
I have to Google these garden
by
gnomes.
Like the landscaping lights on the tree, right? And then I put the other, like the cuck garden gnome, back here by the hostas. And he's like lurking. Like he's like half behind the hostas. Like the kind of, the fantasy where like the dude's in the closet.
You're going to come home one day from work and I will have purchased an obnoxious number of garden gnomes and I'm going to hide them around the front yard in different like positions, telling different stories.
That'd be fucking hilarious. But like, okay, so like the neighbors are like walking along and they're like, oh, they have the garden gnomes. And then they're like,
look, there's a cuck.
And then they look at them and they're like, oh, well, there's a cuck garden gnome. And and then like, what do they knock on your door? Like, and then like, hey, we noticed your garden gnomes. Would you like to fuck?
Would you like to fuck? I mean, I don't know if that's how that works.
I don't think it is.
All right. I'm Googling garden gnome.
Upside down pineapple displayed in front yard, patio, or mailbox. Well,
interesting. Garden gnomes are decorative lawn ornaments representing mythical creatures often associated with good luck, abundance, and protection of nature.
Okay.
There's nothing about fucking other people there.
Okay.
Interesting.
Black ring on the right hand.
I've heard that.
Large mirrors in the home. That one is kind of...
It's so, like, cheesy.
It's a little... that's kind of like 70s porn. Hot tub in the backyard.
Versus hot tub in the front yard?
Well, I mean, I guess so. Like, how many people have hot tubs in their backyard?
Well, where else are you going to put your hot tub?
I don't think... like, my advice based on this... I don't think that you should go ask everyone who has a hot tub whether they're swingers.
I told you, you got to ask about the swinger handshake.
We need to come up with one.
Do we?
We do. And it needs to be like kind of detailed. Like you could come up with different swinger handshakes based on what you're into.
This is getting really complicated.
Like swinger gang signs.
Okay. No, we're not going to associate swinging with gangs. That's not, nope. Don't give me that look.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
All right, back to the drawing board.
So, yeah, pink flamingo, garden gnome. I mean, obviously the pineapple, duh. But, like, I don't know. It's just interesting.
I don't think I want to advertise it in my front yard.
We're not advertising it in our front yard. We have a lot of pineapple shit that does not go in our house or does not go as decorative in our house.
We've got a whole locked up closet for that shit.
Well, yeah, we do. A whole cabinet. As we kind of talk about, like, this newbie stuff, right? Like, how do you tell if you're a swinger? So
we got some questions that we reached out to our little swinger society.
Our swinger society.
And we asked for some basic questions. And some of these I thought were kind of interesting. One of them was, what do you do if you're not feeling sexy at a swinger event? And I guess I would
need to clarify what that means.
Well,
like, because I think sometimes people, I mean, we kind of joke about this, like, when we have a meetup or we have a social and we're like, well, hopefully we'll be horny 4 Saturdays from now or next Thursday, or whatever, when we're scheduling these things, because we have to schedule these things out. And so are you not feeling sexy because it's just not like you just work and life is crazy and like,
yeah, it depends on the reasons.
Yeah. Or is it just like you're at an event and you're not feeling confident?
Yeah, it could be a lack of confidence. It could be your time of the month. It could be, I think your time of the month is probably the one that the most women can connect with.
Yeah. I mean, I think.
Because you put these things on the calendar.
Yeah.
You've got an event, you've got a cruise, you've got a party, whatever it is.
Yes.
And you can't control how nature lines up with your schedule.
No.
And we've actually had some recent experience with this. And I think it's helpful, especially for ladies who have events planned and, the timing is not great for them.
Yeah.
What do you do about that?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of things you can think about. Like, the biggest thing is you have to know what you're comfortable with. That's kind of the biggest thing. Like, I think sometimes, as a female, you kind of get in your head about, well, no one's going to want to engage with me at all if, they know, or I mean, that kind of stuff. But you have to kind of decide what you're comfortable with, because I think there are plenty of people out there that, I mean, this is a sex hobby. Like, this is not anything that is not happened in the world. And so, but also you can still play. You can absolutely
There's
still play.
Lots of other things
you can do.
But I think that's really good advice. Start with you.
Yeah, absolutely start with you. Absolutely start with you. And I think it's also, and
because where you are in the process is different.
Well, sure.
I mean, there's beginning, middle, and end, right? And they're different.
Are you mansplaining?
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying, no, I'm not mansplaining. I do not have a vagina, and it's never bled. Okay, that would freak me out. But I'm just saying, it might affect how you feel.
Well, sure. Like if it's yes, if it's in a certain time that it's a little heavier or lighter or whatever, sure. There's also these amazing things that one of our lovely people at that went to a social, that goes to our socials, she introduced me to these discs.
Yeah,
they're like these small. I mean, you can wear them anytime. There are period cups that women can use that are good for 12 to 18 hours, I think. And they're really kind of good because you don't have to worry about tampons or that kind of stuff. But also there are these discs that are they almost look like, I mean, I guess kind of like diaphragms, maybe. I don't know. But there are these discs that kind of fit up there and they kind of keep everything up, and you can still play. And I think as someone who's maybe played with somebody with one end, you didn't seem to have any problems with it.
Okay, so I have played with two women who were wearing them.
Yeah.
In one case, I could feel it.
Yeah.
And in one case, I couldn't.
Yeah.
But in neither case did it bother me.
Yeah, and it didn't bother me, and I don't think it bothered her.
No.
So, but I guess the point is
here's an etiquette question.
Oh, an etiquette question.
Etiquette question. So you are on your cycle, okay, and it's event night, it's party night, and you have one of these discs in, okay. Do you tell a potential play partner what's going on, or do you look at it as, well, I'm wearing the disc, so I don't have to say anything about it?
I would probably tell them.
Yeah.
Because you can't control, it may leak.
It might move.
It might move. There may still be some, I mean, and the last thing you do is you don't want to freak somebody out, right? That, and I think I may be okay with you fucking me, but I don't think I want you to go down on me. That kind of stuff, right?
Bingo.
I think it's kind of in those heat of the moment, people sometimes just throw you up and go down there and you're like, whoa, that's not what I want.
And that's the thing in all of these situations. And I think that cycle thing is probably one of the biggest questions that gets asked by people, because it happens, I mean, you can't control the timing of things, but I think if you're just honest with people and say, hey, I mean, speaking as a guy, if a woman said this to me, hey, I'm on my cycle, maybe I'm near the end, or I'm wearing one of these cup things or whatever, I would appreciate knowing that for a couple of reasons. For one thing, it's good to know. And then
especially if you're in a group setting, you want to maybe be a little bit more conscientious of cleaning up between people.
Sure. The other thing too is, I want to be sensitive to you and to make sure that I'm not doing things that would make you uncomfortable. And so I think I understand why it's awkward.
Oh, it's super awkward.
I get it. And I understand that. But at the same time, like you said, everybody here is adults.
Well, yeah. And like I said, this is a sex hobby.
We've all been through this.
I mean, this is it's half of the people in the room. This is going on, right?
Right. Well, exactly. And so I think you have to be in the spirit of just open, honest communication, which we always promote. My suggestion is to be very just matter of fact about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to couch it a certain way. You don't have to kind of try to sell it. You don't have, just be very honest about it. Be like, hey, here's where I'm at. And a person's either going to go for it or they're not. And that's perfectly fine. And you just deal with it as it goes.
Well, and I think you just couch it hey, this is where I'm at. I'm comfortable with this. I'm not comfortable with that. If you're comfortable, great. If not, cool. Like,
bingo.
No worries.
And I think that takes...
Come back next week.
That, right? That takes something that, I mean, I can only imagine for women that's got to be like a stressful thing.
It's super annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, it is super annoying, and it is a super annoying because I think as a woman, when you plan a big event, and I think, the thing that's popping in my head is like our wedding day, right? Like the last thing you want to worry about on your wedding day when you're wearing your white dress, right, is your period. And so I mean, yeah, like or you go on vacation.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is, like, absolutely. Like, this is a reality of, we talk about scheduling, right? Scheduling all the things.
Absolutely.
And so I think the worst part about it is, like, you get so excited about going to this event or doing this thing, and then you feel like you can't participate.
Right.
And that sucks.
It sucks.
Sucks.
And the reality is, I mean, depending on you and your comfort level, you don't have to not participate.
Yeah, you can still participate.
Like
I think it's
there's a lot you can do, even if you set aside like intercourse and stuff, and maybe female oral. There's still a lot you can do.
Absolutely,
you can still be involved in the group. You can still come. You can still, I mean, you could do a lot of things.
Right. As you like to say, there are other holes available.
Well, that is an option. I wouldn't propose that necessarily.
Yes, you would, don't lie.
But it's an option. Just saying there are ways around this problem. One other question was, how do you tell a couple if you're not interested nicely?
Yeah, this is always a tough one. I've had to have a pretty direct conversation with a single male more than once, just that it wasn't going to go anywhere for a variety of reasons. And it is awkward and it's not fun. But I think, when I kind of said to them, hey, like, this isn't going to happen for this reason. Like, this is not because I'm just not feeling it, or I'm not attracted, or you remind me too much of someone else, or whatever it is, because that happens. In the situations that I have had to have that conversation, which is definitely not fun. Both males very much appreciated my directness.
Yeah.
And appreciated just knowing what was going on, because I think when we avoid these kinds of conversations, people feel let on.
Oh, that's the worst. And that's what I was going to get at.
And so I think sometimes you can just ghost people, which I don't recommend and encourage, because I feel like we need to be adults here. Right. But I think if it's a couple that you're going to see often, or that are consistently trying to engage you, I think you owe it to them and yourself to just say, hey man, like, this isn't going to work. Like, we can be friends, but I don't, we're not feeling it. And I think most people in the lifestyle have had those situations. Yeah. And I think most people are like, okay, cool. That's fine. Like, we can still be friends, or we'll see you next time, wherever. But I think it also kind of helps. We're all busy. We're all fucking busy, and we're all trying to get laid. And it's also like, listen, stop. Don't waste any more time here. Go somewhere else. Right. Like, that's kind of blunt as it is,
but that's kind of what it is, though. Like, it's rejection, and rejection is a strong word, but rejection is part of the lifestyle.
It's part of it.
And it's because, quite simply, not everyone is a match for everyone else.
Right. No.
And that's okay.
Right.
But I think there's this phrase that I've heard. It's called hinting and hoping, where, you might kind of sort of ignore somebody, or kind of ghost them a little bit, or you just try not to give them signals, one thing and another. And really what you're trying to communicate is, we're not a match. Right. But that person or that couple, they may or may not really catch on to that message.
Oh yeah. And people are, sometimes.
And ultimately what you've ended up doing inadvertently is wasting their entire night.
Yeah. You've
wasted their entire time, because not that they wouldn't still want to hang out with you and be friends with you, but if they knew that this wasn't going anywhere, they should be free to consider, pursue other options.
Yeah.
Right. And I think there is no substitute for just matter of fact, direct communication. And my favorite phrase to say to somebody is, hey, listen, I'm sorry. We're not a match for play.
Yeah. Like, hey, I got more of a friend vibe from you guys, or I'm really thinking that we could just kind of be friends.
The thing is, you don't have to defend it. I think that's the key.
Yeah.
You don't owe anyone a defense.
Right.
You know, if somebody comes along to you and says, well, geez, why not? Or, one thing or another, you do not owe anyone an explanation.
Yeah.
For why you're not feeling like you want to have sex with them.
Not everybody likes mint chocolate chip ice cream. I don't have to fucking defend that.
You just don't.
You just don't. Like, I don't like it. It's okay. It's not for me.
No. And if you just leave it as, hey, listen, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm just not feeling it. We're not a match. And be done with it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to come up with a way to let them down gently. You don't have to come up with you are not breaking up with a person.
Yeah.
Right? You are just simply communicating to them that you don't want to fuck them. And that doesn't mean that we don't want to be friends.
Right.
That doesn't mean that I don't want to see you or hang out with you. I just don't want to put my dick in you. Okay? Or vice versa, right? Maybe, we're just not going to touch dicks, right?
Is there a point where you're like, I'll touch your dick, I don't want you to touch mine?
No.
Or like, is there any of that going on?
No, I've been there, done that. But what I'm saying is, I think the best, I think the idea of being rejected and the idea of having to reject other people is one of the subjects in the lifestyle that people are the most anxious about.
Absolutely.
And if you have to just come around to this idea that you can very politely and respectfully say to a person, I'm sorry, we're just not a match for play. And that's okay.
That's it. Less is more.
It doesn't have to be more than that.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, you're really doing those folks a favor because they're not going to waste time necessarily, maybe not pursuing other things that they want to do or one thing or another, hoping that you're going to come around. If you're leading them on and then you just like disappear all the time.
That's more hurtful almost.
It's more hurtful, and they're going to end up just feeling frustrated because they chased you for no reason.
Yeah.
So here's the next subject that came up that I wanted to mention. How do you prepare for a swinger social or meetup?
So I think it depends on a couple things. Like, are you coming to a social, like an event, like dinner?
Like our socials?
Right. Or are you going to a hotel party?
Yeah.
Or are you going to a club?
Depends on what you're going to.
So obviously it depends on the venue in which you're going to.
Question number one. Question number one. Do you anticipate play or not? That affects the preparation.
It does. And I think it's a good question. And part of me wants to say, be the Girl Scout, be the Boy Scout, be prepared. Right. But also I think you need to have the conversation with your person. Right. And kind of set some rules or expectations or, hey, what are you okay with? What are you not okay with? Because when you are in those environments, we lead with our dicks. We lead with our pussies, right? We get horny or we get excited or we get caught up in a moment.
I've never done this.
Yep. Every day.
Do you do this? I've never done this.
No, we've never done this, baby. Have some more bevy. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
But I think, we get in these moments and we get horny or we get excited or an event or an opportunity presents itself. And then we're in this really awkward, well, I know we said we weren't going to do it, but we're here now. Can we do it? Right. And so it's making sure you have that understanding.
Yeah.
And not saying you can't change the rules or change the expectations while you're there, but have a plan and have a conversation and be able to say, I you know what, let me step out, right? Let's just take a step back and have a open, honest conversation with our partner about where we're at and what we want to do and being okay with if your partner's like ready to go and you're not, your partner being okay with saying, okay, I'll back down, right? Like you have to go at the speed of your partner, right?
There you go.
Like you have to go.
You have to move at the slowest pace of whoever is involved.
And that's hard to do when you're kind of in those such situations sometimes. So I think to try to set some type of plan or ground rules or expectations before you go, I think is important.
So to your point about being a good Girl Scout or Boy Scout, always be prepared, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Always be prepared to fuck.
Yeah. I feel like that's the swinger motto.
Like when your parents, when you were kids, told you always wear clean underwear?
Yes.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is on your good Girl Scout I might get fucked tonight list of things to do.
Like for like my body or just things I'm bringing?
Same. All.
So I try to be pretty, I shave. I try to shave all the parts, right? Like
good shaving.
But not just that, but also like all the other parts of my body that need to be shaved.
Right.
You know, got to tweeze the gullet hairs, right? Like that's important.
You know, you got to have it all together. And honestly, I will say this.
This is why every woman over the age of 40 has a pair of tweezers in her car.
Fuck yeah, it is.
100%.
So, but here's the thing about this. You will be disappointed in yourself or it will add negativity to your night. Let's say you came into this, whatever it was, social, whatever. You had no plans to play.
Mm-hmm.
You did not expect that you were going to get naked. Okay. But you got here, you had a few drinks, you met somebody, whatever the situation is. Now you want to get fucked. Well, you
sounds like a good Friday night to me.
You don't want to be in that position.
You don't want to be in a position where you don't feel comfortable.
And you don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Like you're sitting there going, oh, geez, I didn't shave today. Oh, geez, you know, God only knows what the hell's the matter with you. But like, but you aren't ready. So like my suggestion would be whether you plan to play or not. I mean, let's face it. Even if you don't plan to play, it's nice for your partner.
Well, that's true. I think you can also bring like just some wipes or, you know, excuse yourself to the bathroom and like kind of freshen up, bring a pair of panties, whatever. Like, I mean, you don't necessarily have to be wearing all those things, but are there certain things that you can do? I don't want you in the bathroom at Chili's with your leg up on the wall trying to shave stuff, right? Like, that's not what we're saying.
Chili's. You're sitting there at Chili's trying to shave your... Oh, God. Okay, yeah, no, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Oh, Jesus. People are going to call us for bail money.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I was at Chili's.
So, hygiene, obviously, like, you may shower, making sure you're all the fresh places.
You know what? Be clean and smell good.
Yeah, I think that's a good rule of thumb when you leave the house anyway.
It's just good rule for life, right? I think, so, okay, hygiene, critically important. Grooming, super important. If more for you than for them. Like, groom yourself in a way that you feel comfortable.
Yeah, well, that's funny you say that because I don't mind not being clean shaven, but some people clearly do have a problem with it.
Well,
I don't have like a fucking bush, but like
1970s porn bush.
Yeah, it's not a porn bush, but it's like, you know, there's some hair down there.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Because I'll tell you what, man, like, come on, ladies, you know, shaving the gooch sometimes is like clearly shaving it all. Like that's a lot of work.
I know, but it's for one thing, it's fun to watch. And secondly, I am a guy. Okay. All right. So I don't like a lot of pubic hair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind pubic hair per se.
Per se? What does that mean?
Per se. I don't know. It's
like sprinkled on there?
It's just shit people say. I don't know. Like, I don't mind it necessarily. Like, it won't deter me.
Yeah. Well, there's not much that's going to deter you.
Unless it's like the Amazon rainforest. Like, if it's tangly, I'm probably not going in there.
I mean, that seems fair.
But like, I really... And okay, now all right, now hear me out on this. I think a clean shaven pussy feels cleaner to me. Like
when you're going down there?
Yeah. Like, doesn't a bush kind of, I mean, I don't know.
Well, it's so different than people that have like mustaches or facial hair when I kiss you or the fucking Amazon forest down in your crotch.
Whoa. Whoa, shots fucking fired. No, you get out of here with that shit. We are not telling people that. No, I keep that shit pretty well put together most of the time.
In general.
Get out of here with that. Jesus. So
long story short, shave your shit.
Shave your shit.
Groom your stuff.
Well, and I don't know. Is it, I think I would need a nurse or a doctor to tell me this, but it feels like it's easier to stay and remain clean if you don't have pubic hair.
What do you think is trapped in pubic hair?
I don't know. We call a mustache a flavor saver for a reason.
I'm not. Okay. Sure.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Go with me on this.
Yeah. I'm going with you.
Okay.
Babe.
All right.
So going.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So aside from grooming,
What do I bring in my hoe bag?
Yeah. You need to bring supplies.
So you got to bring your hoe bag. Yeah.
Bring your hoe bag, whether you plan to play or not.
You know what's funny about that is everybody's hoe bag is very different. Like,
and they evolve. Then
they
do. And they get bigger.
They do. So like, obviously, like your obvious things, right? Like panties, underwear, lingerie. Sometimes just a nice little like cover up.
Question.
Okay.
Should you wear different panties and bra? If like, let's say you're going to a social and you're going to play after. Should you wear different panties and a bra to like the first social part? And then should you change into the sexies like when you get to the hotel or whatever for later? Or should you wear the sexies the whole time? Like, which is better?
I mean, I guess it depends on if the sexies are comfortable enough to wear.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Because there are some bras that are super sexy, but I'm not going to wear them with X shirt because it doesn't look right. Right? It just depends. This is a girl thing.
So it has more to do with the style.
Well, style and support and
than the
what
freshness.
you're wearing. Yeah. Because let's be real, you would prefer me to wear the panties that I'm wearing all night.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I'm a dirty fucker, though.
That's true. We also have our waterproof blanket.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
That we put on top of the bed.
I'm not allowed to call it a puppy pad, but that's what it is. So you can...
Gee, I wonder why you're not allowed to call it a fucking puppy pad.
Oh, shut up.
Because I'm your bitch.
Oh, yeah, because we're so fucking shy around here. So you can buy these expensive, like, waterproof romance blankets, and they're great.
They're wonderful. Oh,
we've used them, and they are soft and nice and wonderful. And I'm not dissuading you from buying one.
Yeah.
But you can buy waterproof blankets on Amazon for like $20.
Yeah, because those like love blankets or whatever they're called are fucking expensive.
They are expensive. They're good, but they're expensive.
Yeah.
But and here's the key thing. So if you're staying in a hotel and there's one bed in that hotel, you're probably gonna have to sleep in that bed.
Yeah. So you want to make sure, if you're gonna fuck on the bed, you want to make sure that you can
keep the lube and the gushers off of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to like ruin your night's sleep because you had a squirter.
That wouldn't ruin your night's sleep at all.
It wouldn't, but some people would be affected by it.
Yeah.
All right. So the last question on this was, and I think we've kind of touched on this already, but how do you get in the right headspace? And this is something that I point to you about because you talk all the time about you're a mom and you have a job and you have a marriage and you have all these things going on in your life. You're a very busy professional outside of your normal home stuff. And it's difficult sometimes to unplug from all that.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, I think it's so funny. Like, people talk about getting in the headspace, right? And getting in the right, psyching themselves up to go to these parties and the things. And honestly, like, up until I leave my house, I'm having a conversation with the babysitter about, like, what's going on with my kid and what time they need to go to bed and what to feed them dinner. And, like, or I'm kissing them goodbye. Or, like, I mean, it's like, I'm very much in that space
still
until I leave the house.
Right.
And I would say, look, for you and I, when we have gone to different places, whether it's to a hotel takeover that's several hours away, or whether we're going somewhere a little bit more local that's like a 20-minute drive or a 10-minute drive, I think we use that drive. That drive is really our time, because at that point,
that's when we shift gears.
That's when my responsibilities are kind of taken care of.
Right.
And now I'm able to be in a headspace to be about me and about us.
Right.
And that is a conscientious shift. Like, I feel like when I walk out of my house and kids are good and they're good to go. And
you go from being mom and working professional to you go to being Mrs. Snow.
Well, I go to just being just much more relaxed and just I'm the goal is to go have fun and meet people and just enjoy myself. And it's hard to do that.
Yeah. You know, and I think I talked about this on the last episode, but the question that we were asked on this, or that I was asked recently, was, do the nerves ever go away? And do you ever feel like going into a day like this or an evening like this that like you can do this? And I would say the more you do it, clearly the more comfortable you get with it.
Well, I feel like the more I've done it, it's easier for me to shift.
Right. It's easier for you to shift. But a lot of that, in fact, maybe all of it, has to do with the expectations.
Well, I know what to expect. I've been to one. I've done these things. You
know how this is going to go.
Right.
This is familiar to you. You're not coming into this with this idea that, am I going to have to do this? Am I going to have to do this? Am I going to be in this weird situation? You know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
And I know I just keep harping on this, but that's where like these socials and maybe, like clubs and things really comes into play, because the more you get into habitual behavior with this, the more comfortable it gets.
Well, sure. And the easier it gets to kind of go from one to the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The more you get into the vibe of whatever it is you do, however you do it, whether it's going out with a certain couple or, a certain kind of private meet or whatever, but like the more you get comfortable with what you're doing, the more you're going to find that transition is easier and easier.
Well, and the reality is everyone we're going to meet has families, have jobs,
right,
have lives outside of this.
Yeah.
And inevitably you're going to talk about those things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like there are people that we've kind of gone to socials with and that are friends of ours that we kind of hang out with in this space and really this space only that know we have kids and that know we have this going on. They're like, how are your kids? How'd this go? Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, cause you're a person.
In some cases have met our kids.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a couple.
That's a line we thought we'd never cross.
And they've been very vanilla with us outside and we've had them over. And so, yeah, I mean, you build these relationships and it's just inevitable that's going to happen. But I think don't put all this pressure to separate it so much, because it's okay that it's also part of who you are and who you become.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's it. You don't have to leave your house and immediately become a vixen. Like you don't have to leave your house and then immediately just turn into a hoe. Like it's okay.
He wants me to, but
it's okay to like just ease into the night.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Ease into the day. I mean, even if you go on a private meet, like, okay, fine. You go meet a couple or whatever. Yeah, you want to put your best foot forward or whatever, but just go out and be a person.
Yeah.
Like go out and meet them and talk about your day and be where you are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the most critical things that is hard to do. Going back to newbies. I mean, newbies coming into socials and stuff, they're absolutely mortified. And you have to come around to this idea that like, I'm at wherever I'm at. I'm new to the lifestyle. I'm coming off of a hard day. I am, whatever I am. Like, it's okay to be whatever that is.
Yeah. Well, authenticity is so important.
It is.
Like, that's what this is what this is about.
Right.
Like, you can't be more authentic when you're standing around naked with people.
No.
Talking and making jokes and telling stories, right?
And as your night goes on, it'll migrate into whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we gone to something and frankly, when we left the house, we were like, I don't know if I'm really in the mood for this.
Oh, absolutely. I've definitely been there.
But then after we get somewhere and we have a few drinks and we talk to people, like the vibe gets going and then it turns into, it's just fun. And I think that's the biggest thing. How do you get in the mindset? I think you just allow yourself to be where you are.
Yeah. You don't try to not be somewhere you're not. Sure.
Allow yourself to be where you are. Don't push yourself. Don't pressure yourself. Have that communication, understand what it is that both of you want out of tonight, and then just let the evening go where it goes.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part of that. And I will say for me, the hardest part of that in terms of letting the night go where it goes, it's okay if it goes nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's okay if we go out and we have fun and we talk.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, we give each other hugs and we go home.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's an okay.
That's a more than okay thing. Sure.
So yeah, I don't know. That's like the only thing I can think of, because in the early days of doing this, when we started doing this, it was too much, right? It was too much pressure. It was too much push. It was too much like,
well,
everything's got to be right.
Everything's got to be right. And we didn't know where it was going to go, and we didn't have a lot of time for it.
Right.
And so when we did it, we wanted to like get the bang for the buck, right? Like,
right.
Yeah. 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 So that's what we do. And when some people actually have a playlist that they use. We have a Sno playlist that we play in the hotel room.
I keep adding to that.
I know, it's so fun.
So we have this Snowball playlist that we use for Snowball.
Yeah.
I actually have two playlists.
We have, yeah.
I have the Snowball playlist and I have the Snowball sexy playlist.
Ooh, the sexy playlist.
And the sexy playlist. That one comes on, fucking playlist. That one comes on a little after 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
When there's some fucky going on.
Yeah.
So our listener question for this episode is, what is your pre-event ritual? Like, what do you do?
Do you put on Eye of the Tiger and just like scream in the mirror?
Oh, that's such a good idea. Fuck, I hadn't thought of
this.
Oh my God. Can you imagine that? Like you're putting on like fucking sex war paint. Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah. No, that's when you're putting the little pasties on.
Nipple tassels.
Nipple tassels.
Why don't I wear nipple tassels?
I don't know.
I'll tell you why. Chest hair.
Oh, well.
Fucking A. Can you imagine pulling that shit off?
I cannot.
Pulling my chest hair off by the nipple tassel?
Yikes. That does not sound fun.
It's not fun.
No. Okay. So, yeah, definitely give us a shout. Let us know what your pre-event ritual is. Send us a slide into our DMs.
Slide
on into our DMs.
Which you can do on Twitter or X at Scheduling Sin. You could do it in our Discord. The Discord server is in the show notes. You can also email us at snowmilf@yahoo.com. And we desperately want to hear from you. We love to hear from our listeners. Also, while you are at it, if you've listened to this point, we thank you, and we would love for you to rate the show.
Yeah.
Give us a review, give us a rating on Spotify or Apple or whatever it is that you're listening to. It really helps people find the show, and it really means a lot to us, and we really appreciate that.
Absolutely. And don't forget, we have Snowball tickets on sale.
Snowball's coming up September 27th.
Yep. And our next social's coming up.
Socials are coming every month. If you happen to be in Northern Indiana,
or if you want to come up for the weekend,
or can access Northern Indiana, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. We'd love to have you.
We'd love to have you.
And we'll talk to you next time.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
We want to hear from you. Email us at snowmilf@yahoo.com. That's SNOMILF@yahoo.com. You can also join us on our Discord and have some fun interactive conversations with us. The link is in the show notes. Talk to you soon.
My cock is long and hard.
Okay. It's not.
Well, it's hard.
With the whiskey?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Fuck you. All right, look. All right, you ready for this shit?
I'm born ready, baby.
God damn right you are. Okay, here we go.